What does the hero's journey sound like? Oh yes, y'all. This is going to be another analyzation video or educational video, however you want to take it. What does a hero's journey sound like? Now, if you're not familiar, or if you don't know the hard definition of what a hero's journey is, you are familiar with it in its movies and games. We have seen this played out in a lot of kids' movies. We've seen this played out in a lot of video games. And right now I'm going to be focusing on one game in particular, Planet of Lana 1 and 2. That's right. I would have left it at 1, but they made a sequel. And it was kind of fire. I can't hold you. It was kind of fire. So, what is the hero's journey? Because I never answered the question. Well, it is kind of a template that a lot of these movies and shows and games and whatever, and these feel-good, happy moments follow. You follow your hero, crossing the threshold, going out of their comfort zone, fighting and going through these enemies, these challenges, these quests, these tribes, and learning new things about themselves, making friends along the way, yada yada, until they get to the ultimate ordeal or the ultimate boss fight or the ultimate something that really changes them. But they kind of have this like little comeback or whatever, and when all seems lost, it's not, right? And by the time they go through the ordeal, they possibly get the reward and they go return home, right? It's not always in that order, but a lot of those beats are hit. And so we're going to be focusing on a lot of those beats hit through Planet of Lana and musical choices that I did. And that's right, I say did, not going to do, because I honestly made the song first. I made the song first, and it inspired me to incorporate this into the game I just played, which is this. This is why we're focused on this example now. It is very, very common in a lot of animated movies and a lot of whatever movies that it follows this template. Anyways, let's get into it. Worldbuilding. So, looking at both games, you do a lot of exploring, and there are two clear points in the game where you cross the threshold. So I just want to mark here in the first game, your call to adventure is, robots are attacking our village, and we got whisked away, and now I'm the only one left. I'm the survivor. That is your crossing the threshold and your call to adventure, because now you got to figure it out. You as in Lana, the player, right? You as in Lana, the player, are going on an adventure to go really save your sister, but also your people. Assuming, because in this game with world building, they have their own language, they have their own species. They're not on Earth. This is somewhere after Earth, not the movie, somewhere in a different Earth or a different planet where people have developed their own culture and yada yada. So within the first game, when running around, we are establishing that there are weird monsters and beasts, as well as corrupt robots that are our main obstacles in the game. Now, I'm not gonna go. Okay, the first game has been out for more than a year or two. So I am going to tread lightly along this story, but I still want you to play it. You gotta play it yourselves, man. If you like a puzzle game on a Friday night, this would be one of them. It's not even that hard of a game, but I'm sidetracking too much. Getting back on point. So that is your call to adventure, and your crossing the threshold is going into the new world. Your challenges are the puzzles, the monsters, and getting around things. But you also have a new sidekick named Mooey, a little cat thingy babobber that I'm not gonna get too much into with the lore with that one. I'm focusing on the first game right now, and those are your allies. You meet the cat, you meet the old man, you meet some other people along the way, and trying to figure out why these robots are corrupt or what's going on. And really, you're just trying to find your sister. You're not really even into the lore or thinking that much, but you are exploring new parts of the world along the way. Now, it isn't really known whether Lana knows what dangers lie ahead of her regarding to the native animals and monsters that are in her world, because in her language it's left up to us, the players, to interpret what she's feeling and what she's really saying, because the language doesn't exist and we don't know that. It makes sense better for immersion because it is on a different planet, different culture, after Earth. Again, not the movie. With the second game, because I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of the first one, we're hitting these points now. Our call to adventure is different. Here's the thing with sequels. All right? The thing with sequels is that we have to now sit back down in our chairs and figure out, all right, why am I being called back here again? Because whatever problems we had in the first game have been solved. So why are we here again? Same thing with the second game. With the second game, we now have a new drive. And this time our enemies are other people, because now they're using these robots and other tech that, you know, they've discovered after being freed, spoiler alert, that now they're over here just being raiders and actually just being nuisances and whatever. And with that, our little sister got poisoned. Little sister, little niece, little cousin. Don't know the relationship because I don't know the language. She got poisoned by a space rock. And she got poisoned by a space rock. And that is kind of our call to adventure. Our adventure is we need to go find these 3 ingredients to go heal our little sister, according to the old man. And we cross the threshold the moment the old man drops us off to wherever the first location is, which being the mountains. Then we hit the same beats again. The same beats being the trials, the new allies, the unlikely allies, and yada yada, the lessons, whatever. All of that is gameplay stuff. The difference between the first and the second game is that I think the second game, they really explored more world building. Once again, with world building, we are in the mountains, we are in different aspects of the world, and we get to see different cultures of people who are kidnapped, finally different tribes, and just kind of interacting with their cultures as well, because though they speak the same language, they do not always move the same way, you know? So why are we doing this? Why collect all this evidence if the song is already complete? Well, you've already been hearing the final products throughout the video. The first clip was honestly just the theme there. And I've already answered the question before it even starts, but I wanted to show you this because this is kind of the thought process of what the hero's journey sounds like. And I'm going to break it down on the session here in a moment. As you can see, new change of clothes, new fit. You know, bear with me. I've been recording this at different points. We start off in the beginning with just the guitar. It is the call to adventure portion. It is establishing the world, it is establishing the language, it is establishing everything. The peace, the calm before the storm. Sorry about that. The peace, the calm before the storm, and we move our way into, it's building. As you've heard in the song, it's building up to this moment where we cross the threshold, and that's where percussion elements help with that. You establish everything with the strings and chordal progression, and you let everything build, and then you hammer it down with percussion, with kicks, with African drums, tribal drums. We don't know the drums are, music instruments they use yet, but they're not really modern or developed entirely with the case that we have. So we're dealing with village people. We deal with village people because it's more tribal. They're in a small community, and that's it. Crossing the threshold is our moment, is when our rhythm is established. We have that heartbeat, and we're running. We're often on the move. Let's talk about the first game. She was running. Her call to adventure was more so a push into that threshold. Now here, when things whoosh over, we've already established we're running, we're going. Establish the melody to remind people that this is her thing. This is her theme. By the time we get to tests and struggles, we have all these new elements in tests and struggles. Within tests and struggles, there are also good things to come from it as well. We've been introduced to new instruments something that's kind of synthy, something that's kind of weird. So this is where I can kind of get away with slipping in some more modern instruments in a way to add to the story, and without it being very abrupt, because now it's complementing what's kind of happening in here. Now, during this section in Tests and Struggles, it isn't always going to be a stride. So I broke up the drums. I broke up the drums so that way it would be in half. And this is the halftime portion. I broke up the drums so it's not always the driving force. You take it out, it's just the strings, and now you get to this ordeal. The ordeal hits, and it's in full halftime with synths fully in and a slight complement callback to the melody because it's still within that same key. The fall or the rebirth does not always have to be a bad thing either. It is coming from that ordeal and kind of regrouping or recollecting yourself. And so in the game, there's always that point plot-wise that's written where it's like, okay, all this happened, slow it down for a bit. Theme 2 is the return. You have a new theme. You feel like, all right, if I can master all the stuff that happened behind me in this new world, in this new chaos, and all this new stuff, then I can definitely try this again. And so you come at it with new armor. You come at it with new gloves. You come at it ready to fight. Whereas first, everything you didn't expect. You didn't expect all this new stuff. But when you try again, you've already kind of got the layout of the land. So Melody 2 comes in, and we completely have a new theme established. And this is where it's harmony. This I had written more so the chord progression that it would be. I wrote this more so to have a more positive outcome, a more positive feeling, a more triumphant feeling. Now with the reward, everything, all the drums that are driving it forward, the new beat, the new everything, steps back. We just let the synths ring out. We hit that ordeal, we got through the tough moments, and now we're going into this with, you know, like a victory. This is triumph. This is a we did it kind of song. This next portion, it is subjective how it could be taken, but I did this to call back to the first part. I would have gone instrument by instrument, but I wanted to explain this in a more broader way where it's like, okay, everybody knows what drums and percussion are. Everybody knows what strings and orchestra are. I'm not going to go heavily into every synth type, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't think anybody wants that unless they do, but let me know. However, I will put the specs down in the description so you'll see all the instruments for the nerds like me who want to know all the tea. They're like, what did you use? What did you do? I will let you know. I will show you. Yeah, I'll show you. And all the specs and all that stuff. Just let me know. But I wanted it to be broad. I wanted it to be more so speaking from a way of composition than it would be a way of technicality. This is all subjective. Some people may have different thoughts on how they would have gone about it. About making the hero's journey as a theme song. Please let me know. I'm curious because every day I'm learning, every day I'm trying something new, and in respect to the media that I consume in the art, this is just my way of saying thank you to the developers of Planet of Lana 1 and 2 for letting me play this game. Or this isn't sponsored, I didn't get a free copy, but you know, this is my way of saying that was pretty cool. Here's my gift back to you. I don't know. Yeah, it's just me having fun. We're just having fun here. But yeah, thanks for watching.